It's actually insane to think about.
You don't.
I'm just gonna say Iggy and Aurora just because it's been such a common trend here. I feel like there's other like ban Belica, ban Kwang. I feel like honestly those heroes right there do so much and they're so versatile. Kwang can jungle, he can offlane, he can support, but he's not good at it. But more so, he can offlane and jungle. Obviously, Belica can mid. She can offlane. She can support as well. It is going to be an Iggy and Scorch ban coming out from Guile here. Asura, I mean, if they want to follow the trend and be a hipster, they can ban out Aurora.
I mean, won't be the first time.
They're going to keep it 100 emoji.
I want to see her get through the draft. I want to see.
What happened to the word fleek?
Stop talking. Wraith ban. Wraith is actually going to be banned. That's the first Wraith ban we've seen this weekend. Respect play, keeping Ghost off of that hero because Ghost played that hero very well. Guile Esports is going to pick up a Feng Mao right off the bat. Regal should be back on Feng Mao, I believe.
Anyways, Feng Mao, first pick. I like the Wraith ban. That's another hero I think that I'm a little bit surprised hasn't seen more prioritization in terms of the bans there. So I've long wanted to see a carry, a one position hero that isn't a ranged carry. And what better time to do it than in this current meta where bruisers are just so dominating. So I think that's going to be the case. Probably not. There's still a lot of value in having a ranged carry in your game, even if they are considered at this point maybe to be a weaker role than others. But I would love to see it at least one game. We'll see as the draft continues to go down. Because as of right now, it's a potential. One team might get Drungo, and the other team will be like, okay, we can get Twin Blast, or we could just put Feng Mao as a one position and see what happens. A one position Severog? Like, hello? That'd be sick.
The madness. Aurora's
actually that'd be sick. I think that would be legit. I'm just saying.
Aurora's made it through the draft. Azura Rage picks up Aurora here. Off lane, possibly mid lane, maybe jungle. We haven't seen the draft yet. I'm going to call mid lane Aurora.
Something we haven't seen. The few times we have seen her, it's been. I think we've only seen her once. Get through the draft once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
And those times, yeah, they were supports, but I think she definitely has a lot of validity mid. More so because of her maneuverability and her ability to abuse verticality with the frozen simulacrum, her right mouse button, and glacial charge. So
Belica and Richter picked up on the side of Guile Esports. Richter should be back in that jungle again on Edoc. Lucer on that Belica in the support role. This is going to leave. So we don't have a carry yet. We haven't seen Revenant, or we haven't seen Murdoch or Twin Blast. What we've seen this week is Wraith, Drongo,
we saw Twin Blast once yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that is right. We did see him once, but what we've seen more of was Wraith, Revenant, and Drongo being picked up. Narbash and a Drongo pickup for the side of Azura Rage. So we've got one.
Got it. Thank you.
We've got one carry showing now with that Drongo pick. Why do you think
Narbash?
We haven't seen Narbash
ever since his nerf. We haven't seen him a single time. I still think he's a great hero. But I like to see that. So that definitely is going to be either like an off-lane jungle or mid-Aurora for sure.
Yeah. Gideon being picked up for the side of Guile Esports and a Revenant pickup for the side of Guile Esports. Which leaves jungler or mid laner pickup here for
support.
Azura's Rage.
Oh, wait, they have Narbash. I forgot. No one jungles Narbash.
Nobody jungles Narbash. You're not on your level.
Yeah,
Crunch?
All right, Crunch. I like it. I like
that pickup. I think Crunch is a very underrated hero. We saw him played very well by Stark the other day. I'd like to see more people prioritize this particular hero. So there's our draft, guys. Guile Esports has got Edoc back on that Richter, which if we look at the aggression from the last game, I expect to see a very aggressive game coming out of Guile Esports this game. Shane, I'm ready to jump into game number 2, buddy. How about you, my friend?
So ready.
Let's do this, my friend. Welcome, game number 2, Guile Esports versus Azura Rage. Shane, Guile Esports won that first match handily. Azura Rage has got a pretty decent draft here. We're seeing Aurora make it through. Hi2U will be playing Aurora this game, and it looks like he is headed over to one of the lanes. Do a mid setup. Duo mid there with Narbash.
You said that with such confidence.
You like that? Duo mid, Narbash and Ufel are going to be playing in the duo, and Heidi U is going to be playing in what would normally be the safe lane on the Dawn side of the map.
Okay, so it's going to be a solo Aurora safe lane, duo mid. This is what we saw. Actually, this is actually what Guile did last game. They ran duo mid, but this time instead, they're putting the Bellica Revenant over in the safe lane here. I like this. Narbash, very aggressive level 1 support. I think as far as the level 1, 2, 3 supports go, Narbash is still really, really strong. He has a powerful heal. He has a speed boost. He has a thunk. What else do you want in the early game laning stage in order to get pickoffs right there?
I don't know if you just saw the BM coming out of Lucaire there, Shane, but Happy Picker walked up to Lucaire. He went to do his ultimate. Lucaire was like, nah, and they're continuing to pick on him. Not his ultimate, I'm sorry, his taunt. They're continuing to pick on him. Every time he tries to do his ultimate, they're knocking him up and dealing damage.
So he does have an ultimate level 1.
God dang it, his taunt!
Okay.
I quit, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Shane's going to be solo casting the rest of the damn day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shane Lynch Show. You can go ahead and head over to twitch.tv/ITG Shane Lynch. If you want to watch more of my, what at this point in time is non-existent content outside of the PCL, but thank you nonetheless. Mid lane composition, what do you expect to see out of this is, as we saw from Guile last game, pickoffs, early rotations around those river buffs, invasions into the strong side of the jungle. But thus far, they've been playing a little bit patiently and conservatively, waiting for a couple of levels. Obviously, they're not going to get levels online as quickly as Azzy in the mid lane is going to. So they have to be careful about that. They got to respect the space meteor, the space turd, as we like to call it, coming out of the sky. It's going to be doing significant amounts of damage, level 3 to still Shui only being level 1, but in about 35 seconds, we're going to see the first river buff spawning, getting aggressive onto Azzy. He does have the torn space. He is going to be able to get away to safety, but more importantly, I like this timing of it. Hey, let's harass down Azzy Bear, because the river buff is spawning here in about 30 seconds, so let's make sure his potential to contest over these river buffs is non-existent and continue to push our advantage that we have inside of the mid lane here and bring that tempo over the other side of the safe lane here. Ghost at about a quarter HP. Lucaire rotating out of the fog wall, looking for the seismic assault, but Appy's got the shoes, he's got the moves, and now he's looking for first blood potentially. Not going to be able to pick it up here. Only level 2. The tether, the right mouse button, not going to line up here. Ghost still remaining in the area, maybe to get a gold buff before he falls back. Okay, he is going to be able to get it there.
He was low, Shane. He was very low, below 50% or 50 health after that engagement. Lucaire with that void bomb was able to help secure, keep him alive. Edoc is rotating over, doesn't miss a hook.
That's a hook.
Kill an Happy Picker. Wow.
That's a hook. Got him.
Got him, boys. It was an invisible. He was just like, I don't see anybody. Boom, dead. Mid lane, Shane, Shui, and you fell. The rad rounds are deceptively
They are
dangerous.
so rad.
No. They are deceptively dangerous. We saw that for Azzybear. It actually ended up popping his shields because of the amount of damage they did. He fell below that 25% health, and he gained that shield for 4 seconds. That should be coming up off cooldown here in just a minute. But if Shui and Yufel decide to get aggressive, I think they have a good way to deal with this mid lane with Azzybear, even though he does deal significant damage. Edoc leaping forward, going through that Cosmic Rift. He is going to miss that hook in the mid lane there.
He missed a hook?
He missed a hook. That's the first one.
That's first. I didn't see it, so it didn't happen.
GG, surrender. We haven't seen much out of Faded Ren yet. He's just farming up, trying to get that level 5. Once he gets that level 5 online, I think we'll see him start to get a little bit more aggressive in these lanes. Aurora and Feng Mao. Who wins?
Oh, you said it right. Thank you, Lauren. I would say Feng Mao has very little kill potential onto Aurora, and Aurora has equally as much kill potential onto Feng Mao. I think this lane is pretty much a wash.
What about Quang?
He almost got first blood on a Ghost. I think if he hits level 5 and has a little bit of assistance from his jungler, they could easily pick up kills here.
So this looks like this tier 1 tower is going to fall at the 4-minute and 53-second mark. Kill it. Dang, they did it. Yes, I was right on 4 minutes 53 seconds. I picked it up. So that's before the armor falls off, Shane. Tier 1 towers, and I believe tier 2 and now inhibitors all have a certain amount of armor up until the 6 minute and 40-second mark. They were able to push that before
those 6-minute inhibitor pushes are just deadly.
Hey, I've seen it happen. I watched Oxygen do it, and I've seen other teams do it as well. So you need to settle your jets because it has happened before. 5-man, just solid push right down the lane, going for those inhibitors. Faded Ren rotates up here behind Louis.
Oh baby,
and Ghost.
Give him the punch, give him the fist. That's what he's gonna do. Ghost actually is able to avoid that right upper crunch, but Happy Picker's there. And actually Shui confirming the kill. KSing, kill secured. And they pick up another kill over on to the one position of Ghost. Well done. I gotta say, Asura playing much better this game. Much, much, much better.
So, I say Fang, you say Feng. Is it Feng or Fang? We saw it in a video. This is still something that drives me nuts. We saw it in the video.
Objectively, it's Feng, and there's really no debate to be had here unless you're delusional and like saying things incorrectly.
But I still feel like it's Fang. It's been Fang for a year and a half.
Your emotions don't trump objective truth, and the objective fact is that it's Feng. It's a Chinese name, and that's how you pronounce it.
I feel like Epic changed it on us, Shane. Azzybear in the mid lane, dropping a space turret onto Yufel. We haven't seen almost hardly any rotation out of Shui in this lane. He rotated over to try and help secure that kill. He showed up a little bit late, but we've seen them pretty static in this lane compared to what Ghost and Louis were doing in the last match. Do you want to see these guys be more aggressive in the mid lane?
They've been running the duo mid. Yeah, they haven't really done much of it. They've had decent river buff control. They haven't been able to get a kill onto Azzy, which I think is to be expected because outside of Thunk, the silence cloud really isn't enough. He can just casually walk out of it at this point in time. So they've been doing the duo mid, but like I said, sometimes we see teams do it and just sort of farm, and that's not ideal whatsoever. What is ideal is one robot punching the other robot to death, and that's just what happened.
Yeah, quickly. Rotation from Yufel there. As I say that, as we talk about that, Yufel rotates over, gas grenades him, and they're able to just lock him down and pick up that kill onto Edoc pretty quickly. The damage that comes out of Crunch Chain, it's insane when it happens. You just look at it, you don't realize, oh, okay, wait a second. Look at all of that damage. People don't realize he has the highest basic damage in the game right now. And once... He's more difficult to play than I would say other heroes, but I definitely think he is a sleeper hero, kind of like Faye. The more I see him, the more I realize how strong that hero is.
Yep.
Regal picks up a kill onto...
Faded might be in some trouble, though. Other side of the field, there's just kills going down across the map. Usair gets picked up here by Kowang. Happy Picker gets that kill right there. All of a sudden, 3 people on the side of Asura, literally spread across the entire map. 3 kills over to the side of Guile. Only kill they give up themselves is Lucer, the support. The duo mid, man, it pains me to see teams run duo mid and not do anything with it and just simply farm. They're not really constricting or restricting Azzy's farm. He's level 7. He has 50 CS, which I think all things considered is pretty good at this point in time. Hasn't given up a kill. Narbash, who really starts to fall off after the 10 to 15 minute mark. He hasn't gotten much either. He's secured 1 kill, but has given up a death for himself. If you take a look at the farm between the 2 carries, Yufel at 46 CS over on the side of, Guile is at 40 CS. So the CS is pretty comparable as well. I mean, a very slight advantage for Yufel, but all things considered right now, I have to say that Guile is just pretty much an autopilot at this point in time and are almost ahead by default. Because when you run duo mid, and you aren't proactive with it, you can find yourselves at a deficit just right from the get-go.
Yeah, we're not seeing as much out of Idoc this round as we saw him last round. He was very aggressive. This round, he's been a little bit more conservative. I'm going to say that's because they don't have that duo mid lane, but Faded Ren needs to copy what Idoc did last game. He needs to be in this mid lane. They need to be looking for those rotations. They need to be looking for those kills, and we're just not seeing it. Regal over here against Hi to You. He's just been bullying this lane, Shane. This tower is almost dead. It's most likely going to fall right now. Regal still has full health and half mana. He's not going to be able to do much against Aurora right now, but he's picked up another tower, and we're starting to see a little movement into the mid lane here. They want to take this tower out.
And they should be able to. Faded just coming back from base. He's not going to be able to be there in time to defend this tower, and the duo lane, it has about a 10-minute window where you really want to push your advantage, and that window come, and it's gone. What are we going to see here coming out from Asura? They haven't been able to find their footing. That's a little bit better than game number 1, but still game number 2, they aren't really sticking to the strategy that they set out in front of them here. Are we going to see them maybe adapt a little bit, try a lane switch, or maybe get a little bit more aggressive, or just continue to stick to their guns and say, We're just going to sit in mid lane and farm. Is it a winning strategy? I find myself on the fence right now.
I'm going to say no. It's not a winning strategy. It clearly hasn't worked up to this point. Them farming last game didn't work as well. We're seeing a little bit of aggression out of Appy Pick here onto Appy Picker onto Lucer. He does land that ultimate, but Lucer just has the peel with that knockup, and it does look like Appy is not going to be able to secure a kill, and he gets away. But the farming, the lack of rotation, the lack of aggression is really not doing much for them. They're at a gold disadvantage. It's not a massive gold disadvantage, but they're at a gold disadvantage. They're behind in a kill here. We're starting to see a little bit of aggression into the jungle. Edoc is going to land a 2-man skewer. There is the Void Bomb and a Space Turret dealing so much damage. Good ultimate coming out of
Black
Azzy
Hole,
Bear.
full duration, hitting essentially 4 people at this point in time. Azzy Bear does get taken out. The follow-up from that Black Hole is not going to happen. Shui with the heal coming out from Narbash is going to try to keep everyone as topped off as he possibly can with the mana-intensive ability that is the Song of My People. But Asura come out, first real big 5v5 engagement out of the match, and they pick up themselves 3 kills and 3 high-priority kills at that.
Yeah, they picked up 3 solid kills there. Azzy Bear, Ghost, and Edoc are all going to fall. It looks like they may be able to get this tier 1 tower down as well. Hide-U, Lucer trying to deal some damage on Hide-U. It's just not going to happen. He's got minions there. They're going to pick up this tier 1 tower. If there was a little bit more damage, if that was a black hole of old Shane, those 4 people would have died.
Now, how old are we talking? Are we talking shield plus can't interrupt plus old shockwave?
No. We're talking pre-buff to Cosmic Rift.
Okay, gotcha.
Like 2-3 patches ago.
Gotcha. Okay, not like easily, 15 patches ago.
We're not talking about like a year ago. We're talking about
a
couple months here.
Gotcha.
But we're seeing we're Azzy Bear, Gideon, the role of that ultimate has changed. Azzy Bear's in trouble in the mid lane here. The ultimate is going to go down. I don't think Azzy Bear's escape. He's standing in a gas cloud. Ultimate came down from Hide-U, and they pick up that kill.
Why the commitment for that kill using the Aurora ultimate on only one person? But I like this. We're finally starting to see the steam being built up here. Faded gets hooked underneath the tower. Is going to be able to forward punch away. But we're starting to see some steam. We're starting to see some aggression. Asura Rage getting kills, just won an engagement. Got another pick off as well. They put a lot into that pick off. But this is what I wanted to see out of them 10 minutes ago. They're doing it now. It's a little bit delayed, but is it a little bit too late? We're going to have to see as the mid game is now well underway here. Regal just casually hitting that R button, dashing away as he just found Faded at no health whatsoever. That invasion into the strong side of the jungle from Faded was, I would say, a little bit overzealous. He's going to give up an unnecessary kill. But Asura, I think they're feeling much better this time around, the men.
They're playing much better this time around. We were talking about how they needed to start getting more active, and that's exactly what we're seeing. They committed a lot to that mid engagement. They end up picking a kill. They did not get the tower because the rotation from the team was there, able to keep that tower alive. But they've put themselves, they're still behind in gold, 62,000 or 60,000 to about 66,000. So they are a little bit behind in farm here. Kills are even at this point. I want to see more out of this duo mid though. As you said, they got about a 10-minute window to really punish with this, and we're sitting about the 15-minute mark right now. They are starting to get more aggressive. They need to keep this up. I think punishing Azzy in the mid lane here may be the best bet because the rotations are slow. If they can keep Azzy Bear from coming online, Shane, I think as we rotate towards that late game, we'll see them be able to find more success. Appy Picker getting very aggressive onto Azzy Bear here. They may get a tier 1 tower out of this, but they're not going to be able to pick up the kill.
Still, towers are more important than kills. And they're going to get that fairly easily. Just Appy just sort of casually ran at Azzy, forced him back, allowed the rest of his team to push into the tower and pick it up right there. So already map control, I would say, somewhat even at this point too. Hide-U has been delegated dealing with this significantly large, what was at one point a significantly large wave pushing right outside of his tier 2 tower here. Aurora, taking a look at the build from Aurora here, because the few times we've seen her, it was as a support. Right now she has Exoskeleton, Growth Totem, which is legitimately surprising, and Invader Mage. So actually going some damage on this Aurora here as opposed to just like a tanky support. Trying to up that damage from the ultimate. The ultimate from Aurora, if it bounces maximum amount of times, is actually ridiculous.
Yeah, the amount of damage can be pretty insane. Faded Ren ends up landing a hook, or Iduk ends up landing a hook on Faded Ren. It pulls Faded Ren out of the space turret. There's a ton of damage coming out. Faded Ren is going to forward crunch away. Shui doing what he can to survive, but it looks like he's going to fall. He does keep Faded Ren alive there. I don't know how Faded Ren escaped that chain. He's at 100 health right now.
So let me tell you how you do it.
Tell me.
You hit right mouse button.
Okay.
Then you hit R.
That's it.
Boom.
There was a little bit of a misplay there. It wasn't a misplay. It was Edok doing what he needed to do. He pulled Faded Ren back into him by landing that hook. Bear casted his Cosmic Rift a little bit prematurely. He casted it where he was at instead of casting it onto Edok, and they ended up missing that.
How is Bear still alive? There we go. Got him.
Bear?
Bear? What?
That's what you just said.
I said Azzy Picker. That's what I said. Kwang just died.
Kwang?
Yep. He just got taken off. He tanked 4 people. Got pretty much cut out of position. Not much they can do off the heels of that. But he's going to be back on the field in 15 seconds here. These guys just seem to like going at each other. We really haven't seen that many invasions into the respective jungle of each other. Guile definitely has toned back the aggression a little bit, which I'm a little bit surprised about because of how successful they were with it in the previous game. Maybe because Asura is a little bit more composed this time around and have been finding kills and actually taking engagements off of them. But outside, I think if they could bait out Aurora ultimates, they can just win these team fights almost by default. High TU has to be very, very careful about using that ultimate a little bit too liberally because it's such an important aspect of why you pick this hero.
Yeah, making sure. So we saw him utilize it once where they put a lot into that commitment. One-man ultimate for that. Are you looking for that big nasty ultimate where he's waiting to hit 3 or 4, or is it okay that he's just using that to help secure kills and possibly get objectives?
It's one of those situations where actually the biggest threat of it is the psychological threat of it. The threat that you just are constantly always have to worry about in Aurora jumping across a wall and hitting you with the cryo system.
Right.
There's always, all MOBAs have those sort of ultimates where just the threat of it is enough to make you change how you think about your position and your overall shot calling of a game. Hey, is Aurora ultimate up? Yes. Okay. Well, with that variable being taken into consideration, maybe we aren't going to make this push. Maybe we aren't going to go for the Orb Prime. And that's the big thing, is making sure that you don't use it and getting as much value out of it as you can, but more importantly, making sure you don't whiff on it, swing and miss. Because Aurora is one of those heroes that's just incredibly reliant on the ultimate of Cryocism. Used right there. Faded Ren is going to be able to pick off, I believe on my screen, a little bit of a display bug here, having trouble keeping track here, but I believe Ghost was taken out as well as Lucaire.
Yeah.
So Asura pick up 2 very high priority kills once again.
And look for a push in the mid lane here.
Got him.
Come on now. I'm having some massive display bugs right now. Apologize. Trying to get it all worked out here.
Bear was able to get a kill over on a Shui with the long-range Cosmic Rift. 2 dead were on the side of Guile, but that kill over on Narbash really just took the threat of a tier 2 tower push completely away right there. Azzy's been playing phenomenally well here on the Gideon. Hasn't seen a massive ultimate thus far. The value of Gideon was pretty much shifted from Black Hole over to Cosmic Rift. That's why we see Black Holes used pretty much with less frequency. Actually, it's better. Sometimes it's just better to stay a distance away and use the damage of Burden and Cosmic Rift than it is to put yourself in a compromised situation, a compromised position, rather. With Black Hole. Or Prime being taken down to about a quarter HP, but Asura is aware of it. They're at the high ground, waiting for the right moment. Shu goes in, immediately gets stunned up. The Thunk is missed, but he's continuing to get pushed in. Or Prime online here for Guile Esports. This is a very, very risky situation for Asura to commit to this, and right now it's not looking good for him at all. A half commitment is going to result in them not only giving up or Prime, giving away 2 kills on top of it here. And that just came down to shot calling right now. 2 people went in, 3 people didn't. And it's very common. Sometimes it's better to all commit to a bad call than it is to split across a bad and a good call. And this sort of situation really shows off why. It's going to be a big power play for Prime.
Yeah, the half commitment, as you called it there, really put them at a disadvantage. They picked up 2 big kills for Guile Esports. That's basically their front line went down there, which leaves them open to push down this tier 2 tower and make a push for this inhibitor as well. This is exactly what we saw at the last game, right around the 20-minute mark. They picked up the Orb Prime. They pushed a tier 2 tower, and they're going for the inhibitor. The only difference this time is Asura Rage has everybody up.
Cryosystem goes down, but it does not hit Ghost. That was the target they were looking for. So now with that down, here comes Azzy Black Hole onto 3. He's up so high that I don't think there's going to be able to do much of anything. Keeping them in place, allowing Richter to swing the change and do the damage that they need, but Faded has latched onto Ghost. The damage is there. He is down. The 1 position carry is down on the side of Guile Esports, and Asura at this point have themselves posed for a successful inhibitor defense and an economical disadvantage against Orb Prime. As he's being forced to go away, Faded Ren's going to move forward. If he's able to hit a right crunch, he is able to just smash the fist of Crunch into the face of Gideon. That's a triple on the Crunch right there. Beautifully done by Asura Rage. They do successfully defend, but they lose the inhibitor after all. So in the long term, that is going to favor Guile Esports, because right now there's just simply no counter push potential for Asura Rage.
Yeah, all the lanes are pushed in. Inhibitor has fallen. We still have Regal, who has Orb Prime up. Did Louis? Louis did fall in that engagement pretty quickly there. Inhibitor is going to fall. This is. We don't have the minions that we had back when 42 first came out. They've toned down the minions a little bit. It's not necessarily a death sentence when you lose 1 or 2 inhibitors, depending on the lane clear and what your team is able to do here. We're just seeing in these engagements, what we're seeing now in these engagements is Asura Rage is playing much better than they did in the first game, Shane. They're able to take fights. They're able to pick up kills that in the first game we just didn't see them pick up. But they don't have lane set. They don't have any means of progression forward after they pick up those kills, because they're having to defend. And that for them, I think, is going to just really hinder them winning this game. If they can't start setting the lanes in their favor, they're not going to be able to push objectives here.
Yeah, they're showing more signs of life, but it's just simply not enough. They aren't able to. 10 minutes since we've actually seen them on the opposite side of the field actually getting aggressive here. Again, they're getting invaded. Shui gets blown up immediately. Not much he's going to be able to contribute. Again, Narbash is very much so in early game support. Black Hole goes down, recognizing it's not a good one, and he's just pretty much going to cancel it right away. Faded Ren. I wish you guys could see this display bug I have right now. It's so good. He's stuck in the forward crunch animation. He's just constantly hovering around with his fist, and it's beautiful, but unfortunately you guys can't see it. Back to the game here. Shui being off the field, not the biggest deal in the world, as he doesn't have Black Hole, so that threat isn't a concern for Asura Rage. They're going to have to deal pretty much with the split coming out of the right lane pushing and mid lane inhibitor being under siege. Faded goes for, he's already at half HP. Cryos isn't being used right now. Not very effective at all. It hit Azzy and IDOC, but it's the prime targets they were looking for. They just weren't able to line up here. 2-man skewer over on a Shui. He's going to fall once again. ID laying down the Hoarfrost, but I think at this point in time, this is just looking like Guile Esports are just a little bit more coordinated inside of these scrappy team fights, and they have so much map control that they can just sort of haphazardly run around and really start to strip Asura Rage of any sort of positional advantage that they may have had at one point in time. Core taking damage as well, and yeah, I think it's safe to say Guile Esports is in a winning position at this point in time.
Yeah, they're about a 30,000 gold lead right now. They've got inhibitors down, minions on this tower. They should be able to take this core and pick up their second win here. Really just solid gameplay again out of these guys. They started off a bit slower, but once they got into these engagements, they were able to really turn it around. Got to give it up to Asura's Rage though, Shane. After game number 1, they looked really rough. Game number 2.
Hey guys. Don't worry, guys. We're still here. We're still here. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Game number 2 looked much better for Asura's Rage, but Guile Esports, man, just able to put on a damn good show. Really impressed by this team. Really impressed by the overall gameplay out of Guile Esports, and they'll be moving on to the finals. Guys, since we're dealing with that crash, we're going to take a quick break. Don't forget to head over to the Matcherino, see if that coupon code still works. If it doesn't, feel free to help support these teams. All of the prize funds we raise today go directly to these teams. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting Paragon Competitive Play. We'll see you guys in just a few minutes.